Investigative journalist, welcome to the Downfall Desk. We are looking at a $74 billion crime scene. In August 2000, Enron stock reached an all-time high of $90 a share. For 6 years running, the company was named the most innovative in the country, maintaining a record of consistent growth without a single losing quarter. Kenneth Lay was the architect of this growth. He formed Enron by merging two regional pipeline operators into a single energy giant. Then came Jeffrey Skilling. He implemented an asset-light strategy, pivoting Enron from its roots as a physical utility provider into a high-speed financial trader. Looking at the markets today, do you believe a fraud of this scale could still happen? Let me know in the comments. At its peak, Enron was a pillar of the American economy. Its massive headquarters in Houston symbolized a level of corporate stability that few questioned. But the skyrocketing numbers were a manufactured reality. Inside the company's ledger, the mechanics of a systemic deception were already in motion. Beyond the glossy annual reports, forensic investigators found a company drowning in debt it refused to acknowledge. The first tool was mark-to-market accounting, allowing Enron to sign a contract and immediately book all projected earnings as current revenue. But these were imaginary profits. Without actual cash, Enron developed a widening liquidity gap, reporting massive income while bank accounts stayed flat. To maintain the narrative of a booming business, the company's trading floors had to process an endless stream of complex, abstract deals. To pay for daily operations, Enron began borrowing massive sums of real money to cover the hole left by its paper profits. This created a terminal cycle. Enron became a machine that burned through borrowed cash just to support the fiction of its earnings. If Enron was borrowing billions, how did they keep that debt off the radar of Wall Street analysts? They utilized special-purpose entities like Chuco, Jedi, and Raptor to hold toxic debt away from the corporate balance sheet. They exploited an accounting loophole. Entities stayed off the books if just 3% of their equity came from an independent third-party investor. CFO Andrew Fastow ignored the requirement for independence, managing these entities himself while collecting millions in fees. In the Raptor structures, Enron effectively funded that 3% themselves. They were using their own stock to guarantee their own debts, creating a self-destructive feedback loop. You can find a deeper breakdown of these structures in the Enron history on Audible, which you can get for free using the link in the description. Enron wasn't offloading its risks. It was simply hiding its losses in compartments of a ship that was already taking on water. As the secret debt grew, Enron needed a massive influx of real cash to keep its shell companies afloat. They found that cash by manipulating the energy market in California. Traders used tactics like Fat Boy and Death Star to artificially clog power lines and trigger rolling blackouts. This allowed Enron to charge the state predatory prices for electricity. While the financial engineering in Houston remained abstract, the consequences in California were visceral, resulting in widespread public protests. Take a moment to consider the environment that allowed this. Executives were cashing out their own shares for millions, while encouraging their employees to keep their entire retirements in Enron stock. Enron had stopped operating as an energy firm. It had become an extortion racket to fund its accounting illusions. The entire fraud relied on a single variable, a high stock price. When the share price dipped in late 2001, the foundations gave way. Because the shell companies were backed by Enron's own stock, the falling price made them insolvent. The debt they were hiding boomeranged back onto the public ledger, effectively crushing the company. Billions in secret liabilities became public overnight. Investor panic set in, and the stock price fell to zero. Sharon Watkins saw the collapse coming. In August 2001, she sent a memo warning that the company might implode in a wave of accounting scandals. Like the video if you want to see more forensic business autopsies. This bankruptcy was the logical endpoint of a fraudulent structure that could only survive as long as its secrets were kept. The Enron collapse was a systemic failure. The executives committed the fraud, but the institutions designed to protect the public stood by and watched. Enron's board of directors ignored the clear red flags detailed here. They even voted to suspend the company's own code of ethics to allow Fastow's side deals to proceed. Arthur Andersen, the firm responsible for auditing the books, approved the shell companies and later destroyed thousands of documents to cover their tracks. The banks collected their fees, and the top executives walked away with millions. Meanwhile, investors lost $60 billion, and thousands of Enron employees lost their pensions. Enron remains a stark reminder that when corporate gatekeepers prioritize fees over their oversight duties, the entire market is at risk. Subscribe to stay updated on our next investigation, the internal decisions that destroyed Blockbuster.